To create a short answer question, just click Add Question, and then here, click Short Answer. This is when you want your respondents to just write down 1 or 2 words, not anything really longer than that. So I'm going to make this my number 2 question. And remember, if you're going to be numbering your questions, then you do not want to choose the option in the settings to shuffle the question order, because then that's going to put them all out of order. So I'm going to make mine numbered. Under here, they would just give me a couple of words as an answer. Just like with the other types of questions, I can duplicate that, I can trash it, I can make it required or not. And then I also have these options, the description, and then something called a response validation. I'm going to click that and show you what that means. This gives the survey the power to sort of control what types of things the person responding writes in the blank space. Now, let's suppose I ask them to tell me, how many times a week do you eat dessert? Then I could require that their response needs to be a number and it needs to be greater than something. If I don't care if it's greater or less than something, I can just say is a number, and it needs to just be a number. Let's look at it in the preview. So let's suppose that I put small. See, right away, because I didn't write a number, it says must be a number. So it's checking to see if I'm actually answering the question right. Now remember, I put number validation in there, even though it says what is your favorite dessert. So if I put 5, then it's just fine. Other types of validation that you can do is, it's got to be text and not a number. And maybe the text has to contain, a certain type of thing. Now, if your question has to do with asking them for an email address or maybe the URL of a certain website, you can also require that so that Google will look for some of those characters. If it's supposed to be an email address, it's got to be formatted like an email address. If it's supposed to be a URL, it should have those types of things, a .com in it or something like that. And you can also tell it not to contain certain things. This says regular expression. I would sort of leave this alone for right now. That's a little bit more advanced, but length, you could limit the number of how long it can be. So the maximum character count, maybe you can just give them like 100 characters. And then that way they can't write more than a few words. This custom error text, remember when I said it had to be a number? And then I tried to answer with a word. It said must be a number. So that is the error text that comes up. If I want to change that, I can say, and that would change it. Let's refresh this. Now it says, oops, please give me a number instead of must be a number. So you can, if you want to, you can customize the error message that the person gets. In a lot of cases, you might just want to do nothing with this. You don't have to do response validation at all. You can just leave that off and just give them a space to write whatever they want to write. So that is how you do a short answer question.